going forward into the future, this is the pipe for the water heater safety pan, and as long as it's not higher than 24 inches from the ground, that's acceptable. This is the drain for the water heater temperature pressure relief valve, and it's not supposed to be farther from the ground than 6 inches, so that's not acceptable. It should be just a couple inches longer. That's it. But that's not why we're here. We're here for the condensing unit, and this is the electric service disconnect box for the condensing unit, and it's over here to the side like it's supposed to be. It's laced up pretty much like it's supposed to be. Okay, this is our data plate for the condensing unit, where we learn that the minimum, the maximum fuse, that's the one that they want. Okay, the maximum fuse is 50 amps because that's what it needs on startup. And you got a 45 amp fuse, so this condensing unit is underfused. Alright, now it's kind of we got some irony going here, because this unit is 11 years old. They last about 14. Okay, so the irony is that when you replace this unit in a few years, it's going to require a smaller breaker. So I don't know what to tell you. If it's not broke, don't fix it, that kind of thing. I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection, but you do have a 45 amp breaker which will trip before this equipment is being threatened. Alright, we also learned here that it's a 4-ton system, and like I said, we learned that it's 11 years old because it was manufactured in 2011. We use the good refrigerant here. I say the good, but the acceptable, the refrigerant is acceptable. We're using a 410A. So we're sitting here, what have we got? Our refrigerant piping they'd used is since 2015, the wrong kind of foam on this, and so it's been, and you can tell by the way it's sweating that this is not an acceptable insulation that they put on the foam. So I mean, it's nice that they wrapped it up nice and tight. They improved it, but no, this is not the right type of insulation for the refrigerant piping since 2015. When was this made? 2011. Okay, so when this was manufactured, this foam was acceptable at the time. The reason why it's baked into the report is because it's an energy consideration. This unit is closer to the wall than 12 inches. Most block condensing unit manufacturers recommend at least 12 inches, so we have some ventilation, that goes around here. If we look inside of here, we see our coils are really not that dirty, so I can't knock that. I like to knock stuff. I'm a knocker. I get paid to knock. Ooh, knocking. Okay, so our coils are in pretty good shape. We've got a rain diverter and a rain gutter over our condensing unit. Now, the condensing unit, I'm going to get picky. It's too close to the wall, and also it's supposed to be elevated a minimum of 3 inches above the ground. This right here, this pipe, that's your secondary drain line for your evaporator coil. The second half of this, because it's a split system. Your evaporator coil has 2 drain lines. One goes into the sewer, the home's drain system, and you never see it. And then this pipe is in an obvious location in front of a window, so that if you see water coming down here, you know at that point that you've got a problem and you need to call a technician. So that's a good thing. That's a good location. And we're looking inside of this and we're not seeing any rust. That's a good thing. All these are good things. So what we learned? We learned that our unit is just a little too close to the house, and it's not elevated just a little. On this side is 3 inches, but it's not elevated 3 inches. Okay. We learned that our piping was not insulated to current energy standards. We learned that it's overfused. Where am I at? It's overfused. So those are the things we learned. Other than that, it's a pretty decent installation. As far as the Texas Real Estate Commission is concerned, it's either on or it's off. Is it performing the function for which it's intended, or is it in need of repair, or was it not installed properly, or is it a safety issue? So and we're going to find out. I have not I haven't been inside this house yet, so we're gonna find out.